is that his family and him never saw this coming. Even though the woman was 98 years old. 98 years old. And then Fez called me that night, and this is a fucking true story. And what were you planning on doing that night, Fez?
Going to the cemetery.
To?
Dig her up.
And this was, I guess, 5 years ago. And this is the first time I had the he ain't coming back thing in my head. This was during all the fighting with the Mikey D, where everybody else was just like, well, Fez has had all he can stand, he can't stand some more. But this is when I knew that things had tilted. And it was before the heart attacks, before we got to this point. And I had to say to him, Fez, I know you're upset. Do not take a shovel and dig up that body, because she's not going to be okay if you do that. She's not alive under the ground. And that's a conversation I don't want to have anybody ever have with their partner, that you have to say to them, you are so far from sanity now.
It was a really, really bad place. Of just...
You imagine how much worse it would have been if you would have dug up that fucking woman?
Well, I'm glad I
been
called
driving
you.
around in the truck with her. And I wish I was making this up. I wish I was making this fucking story up.
Could I ask what Fez's intentions were if he had dug her up?
What?
He didn't like the idea that she was under the ground. It had him totally freaked out.
Yeah.
It's understandable.
It started with she's out there alone. She's under the ground. Ugh. I still feel that feeling. And I just wanted to head out there. I don't know what I would have done. I mean, I wasn't physically going to be able to dig her up, but I don't know what I would have done from there anyway.
Like everything else in your life, Fezzi, you would have failed. That's the only thing. When I hung up the phone, I thought to myself, I said, this lazy asshole is going to, at the very least, do 6 or 7, decide he's hungry, run out, have some shakes, burgers, fall asleep in his truck. But you were driving around in the cemetery in the middle of the night, just fucking going crazy, crying and screaming.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I went to the cemetery. I mean,
did you have a shovel with you?
There was one in the back of the truck. And nobody except you knew where I was going. It's not like, hey, I'm going to go head out to the cemetery for a while.
And I was explaining 98 is better than 99.9% of the people ever get to live to. I don't know what you thought she would have kept doing at 98.
Yeah, it was the fear.